one last thing, friends. While it has been a wonderful, wonderful time with meeting and interacting with you all, and I appreciate you are all kind and merciful people. I am not. For example, I don't take people saying my name in the wrong places lightly. And they point over your shoulder, and you see one of the figures from the building over on the other edge of the and just
Of course, we understand that you have a reputation to upkeep. We are still forming ours, so we prefer to keep it neutral.
I will be clear, Master Ichi, it is not my reputation. The people I work for, do not cross them. Have a lovely day now. And they turn and walk away. Anyone looking back towards that building, you can see the crowded figures beginning to move away. And their second figure off the side of the building.
The scariest part of this whole interaction is I thought she was one of the ones at the top. I thought she was like one of the bosses. If she's just one of the workers, ooh, that's real. Oh no.
What I will say, from what you, because Dante and Aileni and Dante and each you have had to interact with a few different sort of criminal organizations. You've talked to gangs, you've talked to some mafia-like things. This is not that. Like, it is very rare that you have only physically seen about 4 members, if that. Usually, you walk into their areas and they're known. It's known that that area is the bad area of town to go to.
Do we even know what the group is that Madame Oracle belongs to? We don't know anything about her organization,
Nope.
do we?
They are, from what, like, they've at least they've not claimed themselves to be. So there are a few known organizations, within cities. So if you were from Cadfresi, you might know the local gangs and such. There's no claim on that. But you are left in the shadow of the Colosseum. As they're sort of walking away, you hear Alar Moonshadow and say, "Let the festival begin!" And the fireworks begin popping off in the distance. What would you like to do with the rest of your evening?
I'd like to get away from this picnic area.
Should we head back to the tavern? We have some discussing to do with modifications.
I would glance over towards the market. It's probably pointless now. I'll come back tomorrow.
Probably a thing for tomorrow.
When do we actually have to sign up?
So you have to sign up by not tomorrow, the day after. So it's 48 hours before the actual race. So you need to sign up by day 2 because the race is on day 4.
But did we say as well that the weaving contest is tomorrow?
Yes, so that is for the technically second day of the festival.
Okay. Let's go and find somewhere to talk.
Okay. As you sort of look over, the Bloody Banner looks packed. They have fully pulled out their beer garden stuff and set up out the front to make the most of what are just people actually stood there listening to the speech. But because of the denseness of the crowd, they're almost packed up to the building. And they are definitely taking advantage of that opportunity.
I mean, can we head back to the Rusty Bucket maybe and see if there's
in the forge.
There?
Yeah.
What do you think? It might be a little bit less crowded.
Worth anything, really.
Okay. You're able to make your way away from the crowd, maybe taking a roundabout route Aileni, you know to take the direct route towards the Rusty Bucket, you're going to have to walk at least near the buildings that display was made from. So maybe heading southwards and wrapping round first. But as suspected, the streets are fairly empty, and you're easily able to make your way back to the Rusty Bucket. As you enter, the barmaid would literally like, oh God, I wasn't expecting to see anybody for a little while. Give me a moment. I can help you in any. Take a seat. And they're sort of like, you can tell that again. So there's a lot of this where you're imagining the owners and maybe people who own the businesses have probably gone to see it and left whoever it is in charge. They don't immediately recognize you as staying here. And obviously you don't see Dana around. Not Dana. Alara, sorry. They say you can take a booth, but just to let you know, I am here on my own. So if you want food, it will take a second, okay?
That's fine. I would sort of dangle our room key at her and say, we're guests, we're staying upstairs.
Would you like food brought up or any drinks and refreshments?
Yes, please. There's no rush on it, but some food and drink would be good.
Wonderful. Enough for 4?
Let's make it enough for 6.
Okay, that will 2 gold.
I will hand the 2 gold over.
They take that. They sort your drinks out straight away, and they do give you 6 pints essentially, and a big old jug of water. And then I will get started, and they move through and start working on some food.
Yeah, I'll head up to the room.
Is there anybody in the tavern?
There's nobody currently in here, and you know that obviously the Rusty Bucket is almost like a local tavern. A lot of those people are either still working or they are now enjoying the festivities.
I want to put an alarm across the top of the stairs, or at the entrance to the corridor where our room is.
Yeah.
Just in case somebody tries to come down the corridor and maybe listen at the door or anything like that.
Yeah, check off that spell. Easily done. And you find yourself alone in the quiet. Almost, you can hear now the almost very faint. Like when I don't know if you've ever lived near a football stadium or even near concert places, when you can hear that on the air, soft every now and again. It sounds like you can hear the people shouting or chanting or other things, but far in the distance, and are now in your secluded space.
I'm not sure where we should start.
Certainly is a lot happening.
We need to sign up for the Doomhakre and decide on our extra piece.
If we hadn't
Did
have
you
actually signed contracts for the Glass family, I'd have suggested that we both race. We race both cars, but we've signed up now.
I still think, say, all of us on one will be better anyways.
True, but it would have paid our debt perhaps, whether we won or not.
We can still do this.
If we had the second car, it would have at least allowed us to use that to catch up and eliminate competition.
Yeah.
We still can.
No, I know we can.
How was the modification with Thaddeus?
There's one more slot available that we can upgrade. I feel like armor's a little bit null and void for us due to chasing from the rear. We're not really going to have to deal with anyone thinking of us as a threat. Hopefully until it's too late. Dante and I were thinking perhaps a second grappling hook, allowing for us to get as much leverage as we can.
That makes sense. But if we have no armor on the back, we need to armor or shield ourselves.
Or hopefully the damage from the grappling hook will slow them down to the point where the rear is a non-issue, but in case they do recover, yes. But
I mean, if
it might.
we're at the back and we're attacking the people in front of us, that's fine, but we're not necessarily fast enough to catch up with someone who's a long way ahead.
No,
It maybe
but that's
protects us from
perhaps.
attack a little bit, being at the back, but
So, do we need to make a starting strike?
We need to map out what our plan is on the route.
I was thinking maybe while you're competing in the contest tomorrow, I could perhaps go to at least the first stretch and start digging underneath, creating burrows and holes in the track, which we would know where to drive. But when another vehicle drove over what appeared to be clear ground, the weight would. No, they're levitating, aren't they? God damn it, Liam!
No, but yeah, if we did do them big enough, you could have the where it does cause friction, like you had with the cloud stream, like it got down and it did the effect.
Yeah, but I was more planning on like hollowed out underneath so that when the weight went over, it would like pit full. But if they're levitating, there's no weight to cause
flying
the
car.
pitfall.
Yeah.
God damn it, Liam! Every idea I'm coming. Me elbow. Every idea I'm coming up with
Instead, I think
failed due to the fact that levitating.
I feel like we should put in places strategic points, maybe semi-buried, explosive things.
Obtaining explosives is going to be difficult, especially in such short notice.
Well, see what we can get.
I
Unless you
think
have
we,
better ideas.
I think we need to see the route. It might be that
Yes.
we could set up, like tripwires, but higher up, or it doesn't necessarily need to be
Head high
explosive.
tripwires.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Decapitate wires.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily need to also be like explosives, but something that creates smoke or visibility issues. Those things might be useful, especially where it's more twisty and turny.
Yes.
Something that will make them slower.
The twists and turns is where we're going to need to capitalize the most.
On the straights, that is where we use our hooks more. We play. We can grab a couple of cars, hook them. They could pull us along.
We play slingshot.
And that.
The zigzags is where we will
have control over.
Well, we're more maneuverable, aren't we, as well?
We can even use our hooks on turns to help make tighter turns if that's required for getting the inner circuit.
But what we need is ways. So either smoke or fog or I don't know, painting a hole onto a wall and watching the cars crash into it, thinking it's a tunnel.
That would be great.
I saw it on a documentary once.
Imagine if we actually use like the portable hole, like for that kind of thing, or creating Wile E. Coyote kind of vibe.
That's the other thing. We need to look at the cloak and decide if there's anything there that's useful.
You can create webs, I believe.
I can create webs.
We still have the cloak that has all of the items, don't we?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
meant.
Oh, so I'm thinking of Tutu.
Yeah. No, your web, will be good as well because I believe it's a 20-foot cube, right? So it goes up as well.
Yeah, it can go up and stick to everything.
So as long as it fits between the space, it'll just.
Yeah.
And it's flammable.
But obviously, it's not a huge target distance, I don't think. So I was even thinking of using that directly on the other cars.
If it's flammable, so we can then catch it alight.
But I wanted to visit the market. Maybe we can get arrows or projectiles that will explode, or maybe alchemist fire, something like that.
I have ways, as we've seen, I can move things with my mind. whilst I'm driving, I can still have things, say, like from a distance, but like affect their driving or affect, say, things like that.
I had also heard of things in the past, cloaks that can make it harder for people to hit you, or perhaps it's worth having a look at some of those.
You also know of there is the cloak that you saw down in the market that creates little localized sandstorms.
Yes, we did see that one.
On the vehicle itself, we are going to be having like hooks, safety clips of like various things, so we can move around without falling.
Good.
He says essentially what you tied on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's that, and it's like
A bit like the
everyone has,
carabiner kind of.
Yeah.
It's
hook.
a
Yeah.
minimum of two, potentially a third one, kind of like more lengthy, but kind of two, kind of like you clip on, then you clip off, and then you
Yeah.
clip on, then you clip off.
Mhm.
So it's that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
As well as that, if I'm using my elk, there's a chance I could even take control of one of their vehicles if I can get the driver out of the seat. I won't be the best driver, but I don't need to be. I just need to cause havoc.
I agree. That would be, if we can hijack their vehicles, that would be best. Also, I'm not sure what I've been able to do. And Dante will just kind of pick out his sword. What I did the other night, I might be able to do again. And if I am able to create weapons of fire, that could help go on against the other cars.
We need to be very careful, though, that if you do that, you're not opening yourself to other things.
I agree. It isn't something that is comforting. But if we can somehow win this race, we might be able to have a favor that can further any of our goals.
Yes.
Dante,
Boris,
I'm a killer. What did you make of that dwarf?
Demetrius was interesting.
Especially with what
To have
he
the
can
ability,
do.
to have the ability to,
Bind things to items.
it has crossed my mind when it came.
I feel like the main issue there is the fact that they're already bound to you. They are inside, so
My thought is more, if we can't remove and put him somewhere else, you might be able to secure him with any cracks that he might be seeping out from.
it does also. And I kind of give like a somber look to Dante. If we ever need to buy time, we could always bind you. We know that we can't fight you because that will release them. But if worse comes to worst, and we can bind you to an item, thus trapping them.
If it is needed, you can keep me in a Pokeball.
I was thinking a lamp. A very clean lamp that no one would want to dust or clean.
Interesting to keep it clean, you would have to rub it.
No, I was thinking just constant. If we get the lamp, then hire a wizard who only knows prestidigitation and is just constantly, we'll be fine.
Ichi, if you wish to rub my lamp, you are allowed.
No, E.G. flips over the chart. Lamp, wizard, ... profit.
Anyways, These are all things. Do we think 2 ballistas is how we want to go on the card? Is there anything like, would we want the card to be able to jump? If it had some sort of springboard thing that fired off from the bottom.
That could be useful. Maybe at least getting
Around the corners.
Or
one
over-
level, like one level up over any crashes.
or
If we're wrecking them in front of us, we don't want to get blocked. That's really not a bad idea, Dante.
Jump is a capability.
Sorry?
Jump is a capability.
Yeah.
So I
Pogo
am.
sticks on the bottom.
Well, they're basically the same thrusters that usually give them forward momentum. Point them straight downwards.
I'm just
make them a
this,
one.
this whole race is. I know, obviously, there's like Mad Max and everything, but I'm just thinking of Speed Racer.
See, for me, it's Star Wars. Pod racers is just flying through my
No,
head every
especially
time.
with the jump thing of the Speed Racer of like the pistons at the bottom that just like bunny hop you over. It's, oh.
I'm thinking Dick Dastardly and Wacky.
Oh, the
Racers.
wacky racers.
I like
all
how
great
I mean, to be
references.
fair, because I am genuinely thinking more. I've got the whole whatever you said first, Liam.
Star Wars pod racers.
No thing you said, Max.
Mad Max.
Beat him said Mad Max.
No,
Mad Max, yeah.
Yeah, which I mean,
Fury Road.
I've never seen Mad Max, but that is the idea I've got of us kind of like hanging on.
Hanging on. Oh yeah, aesthetically it's very Mad Max.
Yeah, for sure.
Gameplay wise, I'm just thinking Speed Racer.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a possibility. But yeah, so for modifications. Grapple, hook, and jump.
I like the idea of jump.
Jump feels like that's not just useful in terms of progression, like that's gonna help us not get hindered. If someone goes to attack or goes to ram and we jump and then they just go off, like there's a lot of versatility with jump.
Jump. Or we could have potentially, and I'm just thinking weapon wise. My head's now just going random things, so I'm just going to say something that fires out explosive, like a cannon, or something like a little kind of grenade launcher esque.
I was thinking like, sorry, go on.
Sorry, what I will say is the obvious combination that I was already going to potentially suggest is to jump. You've got to think of what he has to hand, right? And it is the steam engine. So you could combine jump and fog cloud. It would be on where you left, not where you're landing. But
thing is, though, so we need something to be able to pull back. Because I mean,
no, as in that wouldn't be the second mod. That's part of the jump. You could merge that with the jump because the jump, he's going to expel a lot of steam straight downwards.
I mean, that'd be cool. I just if we can get that as one, then I'll be totally as a 2-in-1.
Yeah, I mean, we don't need it to be where we're landing. We need it to obscure where we've been.
It would only be the size of your vehicle space where you were leaving behind, but
that could be enough just to throw someone off.
Yeah, I think the jump sounds interesting. I think the
okay.
Yay, creative ideas.
Okay, so
our creative idea was jump.
So with that decided, I will. There's probably a lull in the conversation and a pause. As there is a brief knock at the door as food is brought.
Would that not trip the alarm?
It would have tripped the alarm.
I would have heard it. Yeah,
you would have heard the alarm, and then they'd have brought. And there's the brief pause, and then as the door shuts and you hear them go down the stairs again. Aileni, I don't know. Do you need to reset it?
I think I do. I think I do.
Yeah, once it's been triggered, I believe it.
Yeah, if you want to, but it's up to you. I don't know.
As you go to reset it, I'll be like, we can do that when we rest for the
duration
night.
8 hours.
I think it's just up.
Yeah.
Until the spell ends, an alarm alerts you whenever a tiny or larger creature.
That phrasing of
whenever.
Yeah. What's the duration of it?
8 hours.
8 hours.
Because it's supposed to be set up while you sleep, right? Like it's supposed to do your rest. But obviously, if you're awake for it, it's just going to ping. So you would get the ping as she comes up, and then the ping as she goes down.
Yeah. Which reassures me that it's working, which is good.
What time is it now?
So it's probably about coming up to 8 p.m.
Okay. So that's been active for like not very long.
30 minutes tops, if that. Like that conversation of you
Yeah.
guys deciding on the mod wouldn't, in reality, wouldn't have taken that long.
Mhm.
But yeah, so the door closes, they go back down. There's Volu definitely picks up one of the sandwiches, and there is a
Or
pause.
3.
Yeah, before.
Volu, I owe you an apology. I don't like being lied to. I know that you had good reason, but I know that something really upset you when the earthquake started.
I didn't lie to you.
You told me that you were fine. You weren't. If you saw something or heard something or have an insight into that wasn't a normal earthquake, it might be something that we need to know about. I'm not going to force you to tell us, I can't, but I would really appreciate it if you could share any information that you have. I leave it up to you though, and I won't ask you again after this.
It's been a crazy day.
It really has.
I didn't. It started off with a crazy dream that felt so real and yet unfathomable. Unfathomable. Why can't I say that word?
Unfathomable.
Yeah, that's the one.
Fathomable.
Without fathom.
Loophole.
Mega mind quote. Yeah, that felt so real and yet incomprehensibly untrue. And then, right as I'd given away my shield, my protection, the earthquake hits, and yes, we saw the shields protecting the buildings, but I don't know. I saw the buildings, and yet I saw them destroyed and in ruin. The Colosseum had gone, and there was just purple and red and arms and tentacles coming out of everywhere, and yet they weren't. And how am I going to describe that to you?
You just did. Do you think that it has anything to do with what we spoke to the high priest about?
But that would be happening now, wouldn't it? I wouldn't be able to see.
I don't
I wouldn't be able
know.
to see years and years ago and in the future at the same time.
Why not?
I just feel so lost.
Your magic is so different to mine. I don't know what you're capable of. Perhaps you were seeing the future, perhaps you were seeing the past. I don't know.
Perhaps you were seeing neither. When there is strong magics, they don't always tell you the truth of anything. They may not lie, they may not tell truths. But the power is there to guide and point something, and it may not even give you the full reason. Trust in your own judgment and put faith that you know what it means when it turns up. It is okay to not know now. Dante dropping that Buddhist shit.
You have to be careful around the Colosseum. Something isn't right.
I have to be careful everywhere.
Let's be more careful than we were going to be anyway, then.
We keep each other safe.
Kinds of nods and agrees, but isn't fully. He's just kind of accepting the words, but not really listening to them.
My swarm shouted danger. That's why I picked you up and moved you as the earthquake started to hit. I thought we were under attack. There was definitely something that didn't feel like a normal earthquake to me.
I'm just double checking here. Is Dante the only one who didn't feel anything regarding the earthquake?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, to be fair, there was nothing that shouted to Ichi, but
Like, I felt the rumble. Nothing like propped me, but I felt the rumble.
But Ichi has insight into what the normal earthquake, or like he knows that was a powerful earthquake compared to
A regular tremor.
Yeah.
Okay. So finally, this favor. Somehow, I have no problem with doing what I need to do to win, but specifically targeting people. And it sounds like she'd be quite happy if that person didn't get up again. I don't know how I feel about that. I need to be honest with you guys.
I see no issue either way.
I don't want to be chucked off the top of a building.
Agreed.
It is likely that in this race, I have no interest whether or not people die in this race. That is what happens in life. We've all done things, I'm sure, to try to get to a better position in something, whether it's freeing oneself from curses, or maybe just we nearly ended up in fights purely being a delivery service with beings from a different plane. It is what happens. I'd rather get rid of this debt so we do not get in a worse position.
It's
I would
hard
not-
because the debt obviously is just for myself and Dante. So I understand and I'm like looking at Aileni. If you don't want to actively take part in that, we understand. The crossroads we're at is if we don't, then it's just something else later, possibly worse.
Exactly.
Everyone who's entering these races is willing to fight and to kill other racers. It's not in the rules to say that you must, but everyone knows it's unwritten. These races are deadly.
Agreed. I still don't have to like it.
Oh no. I don't enjoy being someone's hitman. But I don't enjoy being under the thumb of whatever it is that they are a part of. especially when we have something that could be an even worse weapon.
We mustn't let them find out.
Nobody can find out.
Like I said, we'll keep each other safe.
And with that, Archie is
Dante?
Archie.
Okay.
Yeah, I was
Dante.
gonna say.
We've had
What's he
all-
doing? What's he doing, Chris? What's Archie
Oh, no.
doing? He comes
So that's
down
his
like
name.
like a biblically accurate angel.
Yeah.
Hi guys, how's it going?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dante. With that, he's looking he's trying to look a little bit kind of. I'm not going to say he's smiling, but he's trying to put like one hand onto Volu, just kind of reassuringly, and at the same time, telekinetic a spoon with full of soup and just spat it in his face.
The room, I feel like, is just silent right
Yeah.
now.
Volu kind of just looks and goes, and then sees the look on Dante's face and joins in laughter as well as like almost manic.
Okay. And with all those decisions made on the first hard day, you are able, if Dante and each you want to get a room here, there are rooms available. If you want to head back, that is also fine.
We'll get one here. The other place feels overcrowded and we won't get any sleep anyway. And the less people, the better in case someone takes control.
Yeah.
Mm.
It will just be 5 silver for just the night, for the two of you.
Yep, cool.
That includes obviously your breakfasters. And just as you're maybe you're thinking about settling down, the barmaid from downstairs brings up and knocks on the door and just says, I'm sorry to disturb. I have a envelope for Volu. No, Clovis. Sorry, that was my DM mistake. Not hint. I have an envelope for a Clovis.
Yeah, I'll take that. Thank you.
They hand it to you and again head downstairs. Again, Aileni, the ping and ping as they come and go. Looking at it, Volu, it's a very nice gold envelope with like a nice lovely trim, and it says Clovis in nice script across it.
Just Clovis.
Yeah. So paranoid, then. Open the letter.
Anyone would think you've played with Liam before. I mean,
Yeah.
I was just.
Can I inspect it? Can I see that there's anything else?
You can investigate it. This is the outside of the envelope, obviously. This is not.
Right.
Not the
I
whole.
thought you were saying this was. I thought you were
I've
saying this is what the letter was.
I've just realised that's what you meant. That's what you thought I meant. No,
that's why I was looking confused. I thought it was just a letter that just said.
No, the envelope, the gold envelope says.
Right. Okay.
Someone really just wants to hammer home that they know your fake name.
Literally.
Just Clovis.
Yeah.
I'm still going to investigate before I open it.
But investigate away.
AIDS.
Okay, advantage.
Needed it. Never mind. 13 total.
Okay, yeah, it is. It looks all fine.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of like just slowly open it and kind of pull it out.
You open it and pull it out and take a look, and it says, "Dear Clovis, in preparations for our wonderful festival of weaving tomorrow, please turn up to the old market at first dawn to receive your pre-prepared item and take your spot on the stage." And basically sort of gives you details of where you're going in the morning.
kind of sense of relief comes over knowing that he's going to get his cloak back sooner than he thought, and goes, just kind of shares the letter to the guys, going, this is where I need to head in the morning. This could be a good time for you to check out the track.
Okay. And with that, I feel that with everything dealt with and decided, a bit of tiredness washes over. It's maybe about 9:30, 10. You would all be able to check off a long rest.
Good.
And if you want to prepare any spells or anything for the next morning.
I would prepare some spells.
Yeah. All of you get a peaceful night's rest, and almost as again, a lot of the attention and the focus of people is over that down in the Crucible. It's fairly quiet all throughout the night. There is 1 or 2 pings, Aileni, but you like sort of listen for a moment, and then you hear another door shut, and it's just somebody returning who's staying here.
Okay.
You know, there aren't any patrons, because again, like, all the drinking is going on in the center, but there are people who got a place here for the time.
And none of them hover outside the door at all on the way
No,
past?
it's literally like it pings, and then seconds later,
Okay.
you hear the door open and door shut. In the morning, you're all able to get up. Alara is there to serve you breakfast. There's new guests with you. I don't recognize you guys before. Are you friends of our lot?
Yeah, so we were traveling companions on the way into the city, and well, kind of just thought they were a fun bunch to be around, so figured we'd stick around with them for a little bit longer.
Oh, well, nice to meet you. I'm Alara. Mostly it'll be me running. Must have checked in with Tilly last night.
Yes, we did.
Perfect. I'll sort you out. Did Volu? No, did you tell that? I don't know if you told this lady Volu, or if you told it because you didn't know to
I
be
was
hiding
Volu at the time.
Yeah, they said she would know Volu. Volu, did you decide to enter into the weaving contest? I looked for your name in the entrance. Did you decide to do it in the end? I'll come down and have a look. I can get Tilly to watch over if you're going to be entering.
Yes, I decided I wanted to enter. Volu is what I go by to my friends, and then I'll give her a wink.
Oh, so what are you under as is it like a company name or that sort of stuff? I know some of the entrances enter under their like shop name.
We are the chaotic embers.
Not in the weaving competition, we're not.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
In the weaving competition.
Sorry, I thought that was a generic question. Okay.
No, but they've mentioned before to Alara that they might look at the weaving contest.
Yeah,
You've
we
not
did.
mentioned the Doomhakre to her, so she's like just like, but yeah, yes. What will your name be, dear? I'll make sure I shout it out.
You'll know when you come to the weaving competition. You'll have to come if you don't know my name.
So how you? And she like she goes back and then brings you out a little extra sandwich and is like, keep your strength up, good for the contest, good luck to you, and then heads off back. You're able to eat up, and before long it is coming to the time that you need to make your way down for the weaving contest. Now they need you there. So first light at this time of year is about 7. You know that the weaving contest isn't going to start at 7. It's just they're going to need to go through with Volu, like, here's where you're standing, have you got your materials? Obviously, and I don't know if Volu or Paul has thought about what they're doing for their main piece, their performance piece.
Was there not a spec that they were asking to, or is it just weaving live?
It's just basically, so it's on a tapestry, so that is the spec that it has to be done on full tapestry, but it is just basically live, and it's supposed to be like a grand story, right? Like it's not supposed to just be a pattern.
I love the fact that just be like live weaving.
Audience
And
there, like,
Here we are, everybody. This is going to be an intense match. We got people coming in from the left. We got people coming in from the right. And look at right in the middle there.
The
I'm not
needles
really-
in and out and in and out.
oh, it's jammed.
So for the rest of the party, do you want to head down straight away with Volu? So you know that the contest is from all the posters and stuff. The contest is supposed to start around 9. So if there's stuff people want to do while Volu's off getting situated.
If it's at the market, I would be doing some scouting around the market stalls while he's just getting set up and stuff.
I'm going to want to start looking around market stalls and potentially warehouses and things for anything that could be explosive.
Okay, and I assume Ichi might have already maybe thought about making the trek out towards, because it is a bit of a hike. Not really like, it's not a daunting prospect for Ichi at all, because this is nothing compared to the long treks that you and your family make on the regular. But you, as being somebody from the desert, you would know to be prepared. You know, you've probably grabbed a few extra water skins. You know, you've grabbed a few things to help you in case you get stuck or in case anything impedes you.
yeah. Also going to be like riding my elk,
Okay, perfect.
just
Okay,
to like get maximum maneuverability.
okay, so as you head down in this early morning, to be fair, the group of you could all head down towards the old market, and then Ichi continuing on from there, because you would be going out to this right hand side, so that is the west side. You know that the start of the race is from this the main road that exits to the northwest. Can the people who are searching give me some investigations? Volu, as you turn up, you can already see that there are 4 other people that are here. There is a fairly elderly looking human female with a messy bun, but a very sort of, it's nice as in it's like her best one, but it's very practical. There's like extra pockets. There's there's lots of things for her to be able to do stuff. There is a gnome that has a strange contraption that almost looks like multiple like spider arms. And there's like 4 of them that sort of stick up off her, and then she's wearing it like a backpack. And you can sort of see that there's like needles and threads and sort of, rather than like hands on the end of these protruding things, it's like sewing equipment. Yeah, the contrasting. Sorry, and then just to say the contrasting roles on the investigations of Aileni with a nat 1 and Dante with a nat 20.
You'd almost say that's 1 in 20.
1 in
It
20.
is 1 in 20.
They did it. They said the name.
No, it's 1 and
And
20.
20.
They didn't do it. They didn't say the name.
But yeah, so Volu, I'm sorry. So yeah, so there's the elderly human. There's the female gnome with the strange contraption attached to her back. There is a sorry, my brain has gone. There is a Goliath that's extremely tall, almost wearing very obvious tribal colors. And there is another human, much younger. They actually giving you off a bit of a nervous vibe, like, you know, sort of first time competing sort of thing, similar to you. And as you're sort of approaching, a tabaxi wearing a very official looking suit is like, are you one of the contestants?
Yes. Clovis.
Clovis, they like check you off a quick over here. So follow me, everybody. They sort of like start leading you out. They're like, you will begin your procession down this way. Obviously, any additional magics or performance items that you have prepped for that sort of thing. You see, like Volu, there is like a look over the young one, like we're supposed to prep things, and like the other two, the other two just like nod, like yeah, of course, it's a show. And then you will come up onto the stage. You will be presented with your items, and you can see actually already on stage that they're sort of being covered right now is each of your objects, but they're being your pre-presented made things. You can see that Gertrude has made like a beautiful, like almost ethereal looking gray and silver shawl. The gnome is presenting a statue that's like a very close like bust of themselves. And the younger human is presenting like a large sort of cloak that it doesn't look anything that incredible as it sort of sits there, but you see as it's sort of brushed up against, it almost gives off like flecks of dust as it's touched and rubbed. They are enclosed in glass cases. Obviously, Volu, yours is there as well, in almost like set up on a stand as if it would be on a person. And they're enclosed in glass cases and then covered with like cloths. They say they will stay hidden until we announce each of you. Upon which time then you can take them back, or we can keep them within the cases on display if you wish. You see that Gertrude is sort of like, yes, keep mine on display, and a few of the others are like, yeah, I mean, keep it up, it's fine. It sort of looks to you, Volu, like, would you like to take it yourself or leave it on the stage, or?
I'll be having that back, thank you.
Once we announce the glass sheaths will remove, and you are welcome to take it from the stand. Even show it off a little, maybe. Once that is done, your blank tapestries will be brought out, and you can sort of see that they've got the tapestries already stretched out. For an extra bit of challenge, they are on a darker color material, and you can see they are on like an almost navy blue sheet. And you can see that, like again, the two that have competed before are just like, yeah, was expecting something. You know, they've got like tons of different things ready for this. The younger one, that you can see them sort of like, okay, darker blue. So they're sort of like, they even start going through their little bag of threads and like separating ones that will do better and such. Up until that, once the time is completed, you will present your pieces to the crowd. Do not be worried if the crowd comes and goes and moves. It is very common, and there are other contests that will be presenting during in the middle of ours. So you sort of know it's like staggered, so that yours goes, and then they'll halfway through yours, the stone crafting one begins, and people might go over to look at that, and then that begins for its hour, and they might come back to see the end of yours. Sort of people will bounce around. It's obviously not the sort of thing that people do just sit and watch, not in masses and masses anyway. And you can sort of see that in the area around the Colosseum, they're almost circling the Colosseum. Each of the stages is set, and there's like there's the weaving, there's stone crafting, and they're quite spaced, almost in a quadrant each, to sort of give them their own area. Up until that time, we ask that you please stay within the area, but you are free to take a look on stage. You are free to take a look at the tapestries from now. 30 minutes before we start, the tapestries will be taken aside, ready to be brought on stage. But you are welcome to do any looking you wish. With that, without even sort of saying anything, Gertrude and the gnome with the spider contraption immediately just start walking over towards the tapestry. The younger humans, Thank you very much for your help. I appreciate everything you're doing. They're like, yes, no worries. For free. Do you need anything, Clovis, before I leave you?
I think I'm okay.
Wonderful. Well, if you need anything, just grab me and I will be more than happy to assist. And they head off in a rush. It's almost to the next stage. So, like, have we got the contestants for that stage yet? And they're sort of like definitely one of the people who's running the actual workings and the goings on. Before I do actually leave you and jump over towards the others who are investigating in the market, is there anything that Volu wants to do vis-a-vis the tapestry, your weaving set?
He's just gonna examine the tapestry. He's gonna do like a few test pokes. Obviously, like not weave anything, but like see if his kit is up to snuff.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to give me to be fair, you can either just do, are you proficient in investigation?
Investigation.
I highly doubt it.
No.
So I will allow you to make an investigation, but add your weaver's proficiency to it, as it is specifically about investigating the cloth. So whatever you roll, just add 3 for your proficiency. Oh, nice.
24 total.
Okay, so as you're inspecting it, you actually find, and are you doing this openly, or are you trying to be like, so you can see like Gertrude's quite open with it. The gnome is like shielding what they're doing and like trying to be quite secretive about it. The young one is sort of also doing the same. Like they're not quite as aggressive as the gnome, but they're like, they're sort of trying. I don't want to give anything away because they're already the underdog, so they're like sort of trying to keep everything to themselves. Are you being open or are you shielding?
I'm open about it. I'm not like everybody look at me sort of open, but yeah, I'm messing with it and don't mind people overseeing what I'm doing.
Okay, so you find that it's actually very fragile, and if too much force is applied, and if you go too quickly or pull the knots too tight, the fabric will tear. But other than that, the darkened color, and I'll leave you there investigating and preparing yourself for the contest ahead. As we come over to Aileni and Dante, who are having drastically different times within the market. And Aileni, this is almost just a repeat of last time. Too many people. They keep touching me. Why do they bump me? No, I don't want to see your thing. I just told you I'm looking for this. No, I don't want to buy. And it's just
whose thing are you seeing?
it's a very frustrating time for
Aileni. Can I do what I did last time and flick on my detect magic to see if that helps at all with the stuff that's going on?
You pick up the detect magic and you do pick up a few magical items, but you notice very quickly that none of them are armaments.
No.
None of
But
them. It's not potions and weaponry. It's like this robe that, like what you saw the other day, that's like for traveling, and this compass that never loses direction, and it's those sorts of things.
But I think there's a couple of things that I was looking for, and I know I've done really badly anyway, but I was looking for weapons and stuff, but I was also looking for anything that I thought could shield us, or like protective kind of stuff as well.
For the thing, those things are here, but they are not magical. So I'm going to say the detect magic doesn't help you in that sense. But yeah, just a little bit confusing.
Yeah.
And not your favorite place.
No.
Dante, on the other hand, this is actually your bread and butter. Like Dante's legitimate bread and butter was heading down from his village on the weekends to a market stall just like this and selling his wares to the passers-by and competing with the people. And almost, I feel Dante feels like a little bit back to his old self as he's moving through the crowds of people, the calls of barters and those sorts of things. And very quickly, through a few conversations, you learn that there are a few different people selling gunpowder specifically, because that is the fuel for cinder smoke engines. You also, however, note that the majority of it is being regulated, and it is 2 kegs per person purchasing from a legitimate source. You also learn with the Nat 20 that there are a few illegitimate sources.
Oh, I go
But you learn there's a few guys that literally like, oh yeah, there's a stall over there, mate. They're literally just selling it on that corner. 2 kegs per person. I think the guards don't want tons of people, and they're gonna ask you about what you're doing with it and all that sort of stuff to make sure it's not just people with gunpowder running around the city. And also, to be clear, and this is DM being clear, a keg is the powder horn keg, so it's like a small. It's not a keg, right? It's for because again for filling up
To be fair, I did have in my mind 2 giant fucking kind of like beer barrel sized kegs. I was just be like, well, that's 2 could still do a lot of damage.
So this is to be clear. So a keg is it's small wooden, water resistant, and they're small wooden kegs or water resistant powder horns. These ones are probably in powder horns because the whole point of them is they're trying to to refill the cinder smoke engines. However, that packed in enough that it's around like mechanically it's like 3d6 of an explosion fire damage in a 10-foot radius. So obviously more of them in an area. It also sets fire to flammable stuff in the vicinity. You can go for 2 of them together. Obviously then would up the damage, etc., as you want to stack them.
Firstly, what's the price for the 2?
So you head over and you look at the legitimate stall. The 2 they are selling either 1 for 200 or 2 for 350. And it is very much everyone who's lining up. There are people being turned away if the guards don't feel they believe them, like if they don't think they've got a legitimate reason to need to buy a keg of gunpowder, like they are turning people away. But you would also note, and you do see somebody sort of pushing to the front, very well dressed tiefling, followed very closely behind by a much more timid looking gnome. They are wearing the colours of the Azure Spire Academy. And they sort of move forward and say, yes, here is my papers. You and they just instantly like, oh yes, Master Moonshadow, we have your order. And they bring forward 4 kegs, 2 for him and 2 for the gnome behind him. Before they turn and leave. So there are other races also sort of picking up, because today is the day you would fuel up your thing. Maybe they're doing test drives, whatever, right? For a cinder smoke to do a test drive, they need a good chunk of gunpowder. It's the other negative on the way up against Cloud Engine versus Cinder Smoke. Cinder Smoke is 2 of these kegs gets you 4 hours of flight. So they are not long distance. They burn up very, very quick. So you would eventually get to the front and they would sort of say, a name and what is your purpose in purchasing this gunpowder?
Dante the Cousin, Doomhakre for the Chaotic Embers.
They check the thing. Do you have any identification or anything that we can confirm on this?
No.
You do. You have the contract.
Oh, do I?
You would know. Well, if you don't have it, you know the party have a contract from
Yeah. Okay.
from your sponsor, right?
Yeah.
And to be fair, if you might not have it, that's fine if we run
You
it
probably
that way.
did have it because you ran
But you
over
were
the.
you read it over and understood
True.
all the
Yeah.
legal jargon, so I would be fine ruling
Okay.
that you have it.
Also,
Okay.
you were the one planning on coming here, whereas like I'm going to the track. Volu's
Okay, cool.
going.
So
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Hmm. Where's Shadow Man gone?
Sorry, Shadow Man.
The guy that was just there, because he's the one that in one of the new vehicles, isn't
Oh,
he?
Moon Shadow. Sorry.
Moon Shadow.
He is currently walking at pace away from the old market.
Okay. I love to hear.
They take your papers, they look it over. One of them sort of goes, but I don't think the glass used cinder smoke. It's like, well, it's for me to know anything about those engines. Yeah, 350 if you want to.
Cool, done.
And they hand over two kegs, two powder horn kegs.
I'm going to take him, and I'm going to kind of try to dart towards following Moon Shadow, because I want to just see where he goes and where potentially his cars are.
Okay.
So, and
And
you want me to
so
do a stealth? Yes.
we will do that next time because I'll forget the number anyway. As Dante sneaks, follows a competitor, Aileni tries to find her way through the market. Ichi on his way to scout out the track for the race ahead, and little Volu preparing to wow and amaze in the weaving contest ahead. That is where we will leave this week's session. Thank you very much for playing. As always, thank you very much for watching. If you've been enjoying the adventure so far, hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell so you know when the videos are coming out. If you want to find us on any of our social medias, we're always over on Twitter or X now. Jesus, I hate that name. But mostly on Facebook is a good place to find us, or Ticker to Talk, all at 1 in 20 TTG. And as always, roll well. Bye.